What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video. This is another one of our clan series. In our clan series, we take a look at the clans individually and we help you determine which is better, the male version or the female version. Now, what we do in this is we take a look at the kit, the skills, the passive, the active, and the ultimate abilities. Okay. We also take into consideration what is their class, what is their function, what is their place in your comp, and how well do they perform that function. Okay, we don't get into stats or anything like that. And then by the end of the video, we're going to make a determination which is better, the male or the female. Okay, there's no fence sitting in the clan series. Even just because we pick one over the other, though, doesn't mean they're not both good, doesn't mean they're not both strong. It just means we are picking one of them, okay? We take things into account like which one can you just drop into your comp and it's going to work, right? This is geared more towards early game, more towards new players. So, hey, I just got a champion. Can I use it? All right, in this video, we are taking a look at the Griffin Clan. This is a warrior class. One thing to note before we get into this, we use the codex. The codex shows you the max level of the champion, the mythic 15-star level 600. So when you see some of the stats on here, some of the percentages for the abilities, not going to be what's on your champion in all likelihood. If you have a level 15, or I'm sorry, a 15-star level 600 mythic champion, you probably already know all of this stuff. That being said, just keep in mind that sometimes abilities look useful, but early game, the champions you have, the abilities aren't all that useful because the percentages are so much smaller. All right, so let's jump into this. We're looking at the male first. We're going to look at his passive. Absorption. Once every 3 attacks, deals additional 100% damage and recovers a certain amount of health. Come on, GOAT Games, really? A certain amount of health. When you created the ability, did you not know what percentage it was? Is that why you said a certain amount of health? All right, so, once every 3 attacks, it does extra damage. And, we'll say he heals. We don't know for how much. Side sweep. Deals damage equal to a % of his strength to nearby enemies, knocking them back a short distance. All right. Big AoE sweep. It's not that powerful, 219%. We've seen so many champions that have higher damage. And then finally, his ultimate flip strike. The next 3 attacks deal damage equal to a % of the caster's strength, with the 3rd attack sending enemies airborne. Now, at the time of this recording, as far as I know, airborne is not working in the game. I think they are working on getting that fixed. So my experience with this clan may drastically change when airborne functions correctly. But we'll use that. Airborne's going to be a CC. I imagine it's going to be, they're airborne. They can't do anything. Similar to a stun. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just something different. I don't know why games don't just use stun. It basically does the same thing unless they're going to introduce something like air attacks or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's take a look at the female. Blazing Fury increases the caster's strength by % when health is lower than 50%. Okay. I like the males a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit. I'm not a big fan of, I guess this is kind of a berserker thing, the lower your, but we've seen, there's so many classes that you get low health, you get stronger. And, in this game, I don't know that it really works. Like there's not a good healing mechanic. I don't know. And then, the question is, do you put lifesteal on her? Because if she gets stronger when she's at lower health, you might be better off just building up a bunch of fortitude and a bunch of health in your traits instead of trying to put on something like bestial or cutthroat, I think is the other one. That does lifesteal, because you don't want her. Your ideal way to use that passive is to keep her health under 50%, but just barely under 50%. And then if you stack a bunch of HP on it, that 50% is a very large HP pool. But, you know, I'm not a huge fan of that. All right, Annihilation Thrust. First sweeps forward, dealing damage equal to 100% of the caster strength to all enemies within a fan-shaped area, then smashes downwards, dealing damage equal to 8% of the caster's strength. All right, big. Essentially, what the mail does sounds like it does a little bit more damage because the mails wasn't very strong. Merciless Streak quickly swings the weapon to hit nearby enemies 4 times. Each hit dealing damage equal to 8% of the caster's strength. Reduces fortitude by 10%. All right. Kind of like the males, she has more attacks, does less damage per attack, but over at the end of the ability, her attack does more damage than his attack. All right, so which one are we picking? I'm sure you can tell by the tone of my voice and the energy I've lost from the start of this video. I'm not a huge fan of this clan. They're both pretty bad. There's so many better warriors in the game. You probably just shouldn't be using these for anything other than Ascension fodder. But if we have to pick one, I am going with the female. I think her ultimate is a little bit better. He has the airborne that's broken right now, but even if it's fixed, you know, ultimately I think I still like her DP shred, her defensive shred, her fortitude shred, whatever you want to call it. The reduces fortitude by 10%. Like that, and it doesn't say for a certain amount of seconds, so we can assume, although with this game so far, it's probably a bad assumption, but we can assume that it's kind of a permanent thing, like shreds the defense by 10%, which is going to allow your DPS to do a lot more damage. So if we have to pick one, if we have to use one of the Griffins, we're going to use the female, but we're not really going to use either of them if we have a choice. But if you're trying to decide between male, female, the female is the better choice, in my opinion. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Let me know what you want to see. Give me some ideas if you have some ideas. I appreciate you spending time with me. I'm Belligerent. Peace.